Yes, you do. He turns it on and he leaves. Welcome to Lunchtime Devotions.
I just have to get my coffee filled up.
The coffee emptied, and then he sang the song, "Fill my cup up,"
Yeah, the Toby Mac song, fill my cup up till it overflows. Ba 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 da bleep bleep. Ba 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 da ba da.
Never a dull moment, folks, over here.
This is what Jessica has to deal with on quarantine. Just make sure Pastor John's got enough coffee and everyone's good. Honey? All right.
Okay. I do love dealing with you.
I love dealing with you too.
Okay, what do we have today?
For today's lunchtime devotion, we are in Psalms 91:4. Today's lunchtime devotion is Psalms 91:4. It says, "He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection."
Yes, so we're looking at the first part, the sheltering.
The sheltering.
I'm going to see if you can see this. You might not be able to. The lighting is terrible. There.
A little
The
bit
shadow.
Closer.
There. So we're redoing our nursery at church, and one of the things that we wanted to do was do some artwork that focused on the focus. Keep the focus and
Keep your
focus.
focus.
And so I've got some of the youth kids helping with painting some canvases to hang up. Chloe's is this verse to do some birds with it and whatnot. So that's why the lunch devotion became this. I have it sitting out.
91:4.
We're staring at it.
Yep.
But it's good stuff.
It is good
It's really
stuff.
good for right now.
So what were the words that came to you while you were looking at this? You had shared some words with me.
Yeah, so one of the big things is that, cover you with his feathers, you will find refuge. So I looked up refuge. I like to look up the meanings of words. It's good stuff, especially to get back to the original meaning because it changes over time. So refuge is one of our focuses at church as we looked at New Hope, the values that we have and the focuses. Refuge is one of those things. And so refuge, some other words that come to mind are shelter, being surrounded, embraced, taken care of, a safe harbor, an escape, a relief, protection, really feeling loved and surrounded by God's love.
Amen.
Very good stuff. And so it makes me think of a hoodie. I happen to have a hoodie on, not on purpose, but in a blanket and just feeling all covered and embraced. And sometimes when I am in my prayer time, that's exactly what I do is I put on my hoodie and a blanket, and nobody likes anything better than cuddles. We love our cuddles, our closeness, and feeling that embrace from God is a big thing.
Especially in this time where we can't do cuddles and we can't do hugs and all the high fives.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
We might not physically be able to do that and be together, but with God, he can make that physical feeling happen from him, and it's more spiritually feeling embraced and knowing that he has you.
Yeah.
He's got you covered. And I've had times where I remember getting done with worship once at Harvest Time, now South. I turned around and Jen Miller, in case you watch this, she was like, "Oh, I can feel a huge hug and embrace from God right now. Just feeling that and owning that it's real, that it's not made up, but really embracing it as truth, that he's there for us."
So coming back to that, we're looking at Psalms 91:4. He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. And while we were looking at this, the other verse that came to us while we were looking at this is Matthew 11:28-30, which says, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all who are weary and heavy.'" Get the words out of my mouth. "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." Take my yoke upon
Amen.
you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. Just as a little note in her Bible, it says we can trust him. During this time, let's get back to that. Let's get back to trusting him like we're our main focus. Psalms 91:4. He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. Let's keep promising. Let's keep looking towards his promises for our protection.
Put your hoodies on.
Put your hoodies on, spend some
Cozy
time
with
with
the blanket.
Jesus. That's right. So today, share that with your family. Psalms 91:4.
Oh, I have last thought.
Okay.
Don't be a wet blanket. Snuggle with your blankie instead.
Ooh.
Like as if God's your blanket, right? In a good way.
Weren't you, before we finish this,
Yeah.
just a little side note quick, weren't you talking about like John Wesley and...
Oh, yeah. The whole idea of shelter and just what we're talking about. I was reading something a few years back, and John Wesley, and I think it's his mom, not his wife. I could have that
It's his
wrong.
mo-
I think it's his mom. Tons of kids, and this is a few generations ago, so people had more kids then. I don't know. I'm going to say 14. My grandpa had 14 siblings, so we'll say 14.
We'll just say 14.
14 kids.
Seems right.
She had a busy house. She had a lot to do, and people probably never left her alone. But she had a blanket that she would throw over her head, and that was her prayer time. And you best not be bothering the mama when she's covered up. She's with Jesus. She's not with you right now.
That's right.
That's how she was.
So let's get our Jesus time in, share it with our family, do what we can do, seek after the Lord, especially this time. So that's your lunchtime devotion. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Everybody who jumped on, we appreciate it. God bless, and
Love you.
we love you. Be the church in any way you can.